What are we eating? Thank you.
I don't say that now. No, it's just to demonstrate the packaging. He's supposed to make his way around up here. We got everybody, right? Hi everybody, we are Team Hot Pink, presenting on Borealis Buds. My name is Henry Bolaños.
Caitlin Holsky.
Richard Stout. So, brainstorming. For this project we had about 3 ideas we tossed around. One was an electronics repair shop. The second was an analytical consultation firm. And the third was a marijuana dispensary shop. We instantly went with the most challenging and controversial one, since it'd be the most fun and challenging to work on. Borealis Buds was born. We figured since this will be a reality in Fairbanks, since Proposition 2 passed last year, why not take a swing at this? We first had to figure out our target market. So we decided to go with males and females, 21 and over, with disposable income as our main area of focus. We decided to do a research on Colorado and Washington's regulations and policies, as they are the only 2 states with the legal marijuana market. We also knew that data would need to be collected, mostly primary data, since this is an untapped market in Fairbanks. Our market research, well, we decided that we needed input from both users and non-users of marijuana. So we did a yes, I use marijuana survey, and no, I don't use marijuana survey. The reason for this is that we need to know the reasons that will drive people away from our product. So with that being said, our yes survey. For our yes survey, we found that 70% of the people we surveyed use marijuana for recreational purposes. We learned that 33% of our consumers expect to purchase marijuana on a monthly, at least once a month, while at least 3% will purchase daily. We found that 37% of our customers would prefer to buy an eighth, which is 3.5 grams per visit, where 10% will actually buy an ounce, which is 28 grams per visit. A surprising result was that 37% of people were not really not that concerned about whether their product is grown locally or exported. But a total of 50% do have some concern in some way, shape, or form that it is grown locally or produced locally. We found that 27% of the people prefer to drive only about 2 to 5 miles for the desired product. But we did find that 13% will drive upwards of 20 miles or more for the desired product. For this slide, I know it's a little confusing. I got some beef over it, but I'll just explain it super simple. For this question, we asked our individuals to rate their products by preference. So first was cannabis in its natural form, which is the bud. Second was edibles. Third was concentrates like hash oils or dabs. Fourth was topicals and drinks. And we left other open for products we may not know about yet. This is a pretty interesting market. Our demographic question let us know that we should expect our customers to be about 63% male and 30% female. And that's a real answer, by the way. I'm just not putting that for a joke. The no survey showed us that a total of 53% of the people we surveyed expect no interaction with marijuana whatsoever. Understandable, their choice. But 17% did show interest, and 30% were actually neutral on the topic. We also, as I stated earlier, wanted reasons as to why they wouldn't use our product. We allow for more than one reason why they don't use it. These are just about all of them. I picked out a hand-select few that are important to our case here. 7% said they don't want to become addicts. 3% said it's because it's illegal. 10% said because they have no particular reason, and 3% said because they have no access. Part of our target market. With this survey as well, we also wanted the demographics. They're actually really similar to our yes survey. 63% were male, 27% were female, and some people just didn't want to answer. So with that being said, to talk to you about our business and SWOT analysis is Richard Stout.
Thanks. I know this is like the 7th inning stretch here, so it's trying to keep some energy going here. And I got business analysis, and I've got the unfun part, but I'll try to make it as fun as possible. And there we go. My job was to talk about business analysis. I thought we could divide it up into 3 sections. You have your SWOT, you have your 4 Ps, and your target market, and that's what I wanted to focus on in the 5 minutes that I had to talk to you here. In reference to the SWOT analysis, there were some major key points that I noticed here, and it kept expanding. My strengths kept getting longer and longer and longer. It's more and more what I looked at there. But the key points I'd like to talk about here is the domestic market is huge. It is estimated to be a $70 to $100 billion a year industry. Now that obviously that isn't Alaska, but to take an idea that we do still get a cut of that pie there. But within that, there's an aspect of tourism. Alaska is well known for tourism. One of the key industries that's going on in Colorado and Washington right now is cannabis tourism, marijuana tourism, for either medical or recreational purposes. So I put that on as a strength. We could be a location not only for your opportunity to see the Aurora Borealis, but you can come to Borealis Buds and check out our week. As far as weaknesses, 3 points I want to talk about here is that with a new starting business, you have no brand recognition. People aren't going to really understand what kind of product they're getting if they're not an already consumer or consistent user. They won't know the product itself. Investments in research and development are limited in scope. Beyond the initial idea of taking a bud off of a tree and turning around and putting it in your pipe and smoking it, the products that are expanding are kind of out there. How do you put it? They're not truly investigated with the scientific mind as they are right now. And the last is, I found a couple articles, and economists believe that there's something that's not being viewed on this market in general. And they actually say that there's a possibility of market collapse in a 10-year scope. The idea is that the supply will become so overwhelming that it will exceed the demand. And that falls in an article I found about called green rush, the entrepreneurial green rush. People will continue to believe that, oh, well, I'm going to grow it in my yard, I'm going to grow it in my kitchen and in my closet. They're going to overflow the market, and eventually even small businesses will have to back out and big core will take over. As far as opportunities, there's a vast variety of opportunities. Amsterdam has expanded on this. Peripheral market allows us for cafes, marijuana festivals. You know, a lot of us have gone out to Talkeetna for the Bluegrass Festival. Now that no longer exists, there's opportunity for marijuana festivals to move into its place. The development of proprietary products. As a first starter, we're going to be able to create products that are strictly ours, it's also within our branding. And franchising business is another opportunity that we see available to us. In regards to threats, increase in government regulation, we don't really know where it's going to go, when they're going to start to enforce federal law. So that always acts as a threat to us. External business risks that start with any new entrepreneurial business. Security of the store and the customers, from police harassment to actual predators. Banking regulation, and will prevent us from investing our capital. There's a lot of fear. We're going to put the money in the bank. Eventually, the federal government's going to come along and say, well, this is ill-earned gains, and they're going to take it away. It comes as a threat. So for our marketing mix, our product, what is our product? It's marijuana. The main factor of marijuana, it's THC. Worldwide, the United Nations estimates 162 million people use marijuana, and 22 million people are daily users. It comes in every form, for our food, beverages, and even in vaporized form, as you noticed earlier. So as far as price, our ask is going to be $260 to $320. We figured out, we looked around here what was going to be sellable, what we're going to be able to make off it. At $50 an ounce is the sin tax. We're going off of what Colorado and Washington are paying per ounce from the developer or the grower to us, and what we're going to try to make is profit. Out there in the rest of the world, price of weed determines at $195 to $245 per ounce. We consider the increase in cost as consistent with COLA, or cost of living allowance, that we've had to establish here in Fairbanks. As far as promotion, Alaska is restricted like all other states. Well, SEC prevents us from advertising on radio and television. That's also starting to wave over to social media. Social media has no desire to be associated with marijuana until it's legalized across all lines. So the way people are getting away with it right now is they're creating blogs and vlogs. And then they're creating product placement and linking it directly to that and using word of mouth technique to proliferate that. Otherwise, we have the front of the store and our products itself. The truth is, it's pot. People are going to buy it. People are going to talk about it. It's not going to be that hard. Word of mouth marketing, it's not. We're not saying this is rock science. Oh, where did you get that? You know, they talk about it now. Who's providing you with that? Now there's going to be a legal conversation. They're going to be able to get away with it a lot easier. And as far as place, the marketing mix, we have a variety of channels. In Colorado, there's opportunities where you have to be an actual medical professional. I'm sorry, you have to be a medical dispensary to do recreational disbursements. So I've talked about some channels here, and I'm going to slip over here to target audience real quick. Henry brought it up earlier that our target audience is 21 plus men and women. Well, I wanted to figure out what our numbers were here in Fairbanks. So actually I took the registry for registered voters. There are 70,000 registered voters in the Fairbanks North Star Borough. Henry also noticed that people will travel 20 miles plus, so that's how I got to include the entire Fairbanks North Star Borough. But that also includes, pardon me for the typo here, this is my fault, 18 to 20-year-olds are also included as registered voters. Those are not within the legal age of 21 plus. But there's a significant amount of people here in Fairbanks that are not registered voters. And I believe that makes up more than the discrepancy between the 2 years that are going to be within that. So of those 70,000 voters, our target is to address the pot community itself, the people that generally consume marijuana on a daily basis. We want to create brand loyalty. We want to get them in there. We want to make them feel safe with who we are. Then we're going to go beyond that. Once we have brand loyalty with the everyday consumer, we're going to go to the non-educated consumer. We're going to dispatch notions and outdated fears through our education program. Generally, we're going after the soccer mom. Arizona's doing this right now, and they're actually showing quite a bit of success. There are 2 women down there, and they are the ultimate soccer moms, and they're killing it. And the idea is, no longer do you need to have that glass of wine, just have the joint. And it's the way the world's going. They're actually showing, there's a lot of new businesses that are popping up there of how to market to the other side, to the non-everyday user. And now to talk about our brand and our logo is Caitlin.
So we wanted our name to be unique, memorable, and simple, to have an Alaskan theme, as well as to have an indication of what type of products we are going to provide. Borealis Buds fits all of these criteria, as well as having an appealing placement and alphabetically sorted lists, such as online or in phone books, which will allow for potential customers to find us easily. Next, we focused on our logo. We agreed it needed to be as unique as our name, to stick with the Alaskan theme, and to be eye-catching. The first and most obvious choice was to use the Aurora Borealis. However, the Aurora alone did not make for a very appealing design, so we decided to incorporate the moose, in addition to keeping the colors of the Aurora constant throughout the text of the design. Including our motto was important to us because we wanted our values to be portrayed easily in order to attract potential customers, including the 2 small marijuana leaves. And the outer circle design was to help make it clear which buds Borealis Buds was referring to. Our logo design was appealing enough, we thought it would be beneficial to place it directly onto our products. This design can be printed onto clothing such as t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hats. The buds purchased will be placed into individual odor suppressant Ziploc-like bags with the strain, weight, and potency displayed. Other products such as Other products such as the baked goods will be wrapped in cling wrap-like material, like you all got to see, with our logo displayed directly on it as well. We discussed a motto and decided that this was definitely something we wanted. We wanted it to get important aspects of our business across the community as well as the potential customers, and our motto does just that. Medication, education, recreation. Medication is going off of Colorado laws. In order to run a normal marijuana dispensary, you have to have a medical marijuana license. And we are going to hold ourselves to that same standard. Education. We want our customers to not only enjoy our product, but to understand them as well. We will be having bi-weekly workshops. They will include what is marijuana and how it affects you, how it is grown, why it is important, the different ways to consume marijuana, as well as a tour of the grow house. The hope behind these workshops is not only to educate our future customers, but to also make them more comfortable with the product they choose to use. And recreation. Marijuana now is legal in Alaska, and we want to get rid of the negative stigma that goes along with it. We provide the products for our customers to enjoy at their own leisure. And now, Austin's going to talk to you about test marketing and commercialization.
Thank you. So to test our market, we posted our logo to Facebook to see what kind of reaction we would get from the audience. And it was actually an amazing response. We got positive comments and likes, and we even got comments like, "Well, you guys have punch cards." So our product offering has been widely successful in Washington and Colorado, and our pricing, our logo flew well with our audience, and our pricing is verified by our survey that Henry talked about. So to commercialize our product, we kind of had an upset with federal regulations. We had to eliminate radio advertisement and TV advertisement because the FCC prohibits it, just like cigarette companies. But social media and word of mouth were our most valuable tool, but not our only tool. We found that we would post flyers around town on our opening week to give people location, etc. We would have people go out flying signs to engage people and tell them where our location is and talk to them about it. Many forms of guerrilla advertising. We would run a special on opening day just to give people a promotional price before having to pay a retail price. Celebrity endorsements. Snoop Dogg once said that once marijuana became legal, he would come up here and perform a concert, and we were hoping we could ask him to try our products and hopefully endorse it for us. Take a picture with him and be in our shop, and it'd be great. Yeah, and it would improve our reputation, just to say that. We would also focus on being socially responsible. So I noticed around town there's a lot of trash everywhere, and BP goes around and picks up garbage everywhere, puts bags up and hangs them up with their logo on it. And I think that was something we could do as well to help advertise our company as well, and also show that we're not, we're actually professionals and we care about socially responsible things. One thing we can use to help promote our business is Weed Maps. It's an app that helps you find dispensaries in your area. You can search in the map, zoom in, click on a location, tells you all the information about it, and to be located on that would be really helpful as well. The classic Facebook, Instagram, and our own personal website would be included as well. So this business model has been proven over and over and over, and we know works. Colorado and Washington lead by example, and they've shown that it is profitable in those states, and it will continue to be profitable up here. Our market research confirms that it is valid over in Alaska, and that the margins are actually very high as well. We covered each area, and we have proven that there is a market, and we went through brainstorming, market research, business analysis, target market, development, test marketing, and commercialization. And we hope that was enough information to prove our point to you guys. So thank you all for listening, and we hope that you choose Borealis Buds for your marijuana needs. These are references, and
Here's your Borealis Buds.
here we go.
I have like two things, I guess. When you guys sell to people, is there any conflict that may happen for a certain amount? Say someone gets pulled over and they have over a certain amount in their car. Do you think of?
An ounce is once the regulations get passed and everything, the most they can have on them at a single time is an ounce. So that's where we would cap ourselves.
Oh, sure. And then,
Yeah, per trip, yeah.
Okay, and then, I guess, do you kind of like consider the problems that it may cause, like, if you sell it to people on campus? I know like the agents that you kind of said, but, even though it's legalized now in the state, it still can't be like on campus and neither can tobacco, so how do you really?
So, we look at it as we're looking at it as just another product. Alcohol, cigarettes, anything. It's, while we want to promote proper use, education, knowledge of your product, it's also up to the consumer to do what they're, we trust, just like alcohol companies trust you to drink and not drive, we're trusting you to have the product in the proper location, don't break laws, don't abuse it, it's a privilege, not a right.
Yeah, and we promote being responsible, so it's kind of our aim at that.
So, I know, like, Brown Jug, if they see you come in and you're intoxicated, they won't sell to you. Will you do the same thing? Like, someone already comes in high?
Definitely. I mean,
That's, actually, no, I did a little research on this. The idea, do you understand the purpose behind it? I mean, you don't sell to a person who's intoxicated because they're incapable of making wise choices. Beyond that, also they become a medical danger to themselves and to everyone else around them. Does the same thing affect to a marijuana user? Yes, but have those parameters been set? No. But yes, most definitely, we will be a responsible business owner. You wouldn't hand, knives to children. You wouldn't sell guns to an infant. You wouldn't hand somebody that was intoxicated or falling over alcohol or an intoxicant. It'd be a socially irresponsible business owner.
I know that you guys are gonna have like an education in your bi-weekly, seminar type deal, but do you guys have a plan to deal with like protesters, as there surely will be? I mean, there's gonna be people who didn't want it to pass and people who aren't happy about having a bud shop in their neighborhood type deal. And I mean, even though you have an education program, you said there are people who aren't gonna wanna be educated. And do you have a plan to deal with protesters?
protesters are protected by our great constitution. They have and I encourage the exercise of your constitutional rights, as long as they're not breaking their rights. They're not coming in our shop and doing it. They're not,
Breaking our stuff.
yeah, breaking our stuff, painting our glass or anything. As long as they're not physically or even spiritually, I guess, harming our business or our customers, by all means, we can't stop them legally. We can't stop them. So why fret on what we can't stop?
Yeah,
just promote positive vibes and hopeful thinking, I guess.
Yeah, I also don't think protesters will affect their business because the people that already use marijuana are more likely to be in agreement with it themselves than be swayed by someone else's opinion.
My question, I think, would be, where's your supply going to come from? Because there's not very, a lot of grow operations that are legal in Alaska, and you can't transport over state line.
I actually talked about that in my channels, but I realized I was going over in time, so I kind of jumped past the channels.
Okay.
There'll be 3 direct routes for where we'll be getting our products from. People are going to be able to grow in their rooms, funny enough. You won't actually have to, there's certain licenses, there's certain amounts that you can get away with simply by growing in your closet and selling out to local profit. They're called the gray market. I mean, Henry, you really want to expand on that?
I've done presentations on this topic before on other states as well. So we had a long presentation. We cut it down. We talked about investing in grow houses, and that'd be how we would get our tours to go, our workshops to go to the workhouses and do the tours. And they would be our locally invested grow houses to promote knowledge and whatnot. But also there has been talk about allowing states that already have legal marijuana markets to transport within each of the states. There was actually a big talk about that in Washington and Colorado for a minute. I don't know if there still are, or if they kind of just brush under the carpet. But there's, especially with other states and even the District of Columbia and Washington, and Washington D.C., legalizing this product, and as much revenue as it's coming and as much revenue the government's missing out on, I only see positive moving forward from this point on.
So, if a potential customer would walk by, how are you going to get that potential customer to go with you instead of their guy? Because everybody that smokes now has their guys, the guy that they get it from. and it's the guy that they've always been getting it from, and it's the one that they trust.
Because by going with that guy, cut you off there, by going with that guy, you are still breaking the law. In the end, if I was to purchase Jack Daniels from you, an unlicensed distributor, I am breaking the law. I am taking a risk. I am no longer taking a risk by going to Borealis Buds. That's it. I am not risking jail time. And why would you go to jail for something as silly as not going into a store and purchasing it, if you can do it now?
To add on to that, kind of wanted to have our own product too, like our own staple. Like we would have our own connection for our own specific, like our own vendor exclusive products. So people come to us for our specific, strain, which is what, yeah. So.
All right, let's move it over to the business professionals so we can wrap it up with them. Who has not started? Matt, have you started yet? Matthew, start.
Have you found anybody that will insure you?
Yeah, actually, yes.
Okay.
We have Canisure. Canisure is actually the one company out there that's insuring. We actually had it in the presentation, the first round of presentation. We had to cut it for timeline. Canisure will insure not only our crops, our products, our store, our consumers, the security. They will insure across them. They are actually a company called Canisure. They are currently supplying 80% of the insurance in Colorado and Washington. And they are making a killing.
So because they're making a killing, what are they going to charge you to insure your supply and your retail shop?
The actual numbers, I couldn't get them on the phone to actually give me a specific information. What I did is I left a bunch of phone calls. Unfortunately, I was not able to get back.
And it's going to tie into a larger picture. You guys, and you did a very good SWOT analysis, but from that standpoint, do you have an idea of how many local competitors you're going to have in the market here in Fairbanks?
No. To add on with that though, even once the regulation passes, we won't really know until the license is distributed. What they'll probably end up doing is what Washington did and Colorado did. Well, I think Washington did it, but it's a lottery style. So all the applicants put their applications in. First round will get canceled out by, make sure they have the right paperwork. Those that go on to the next round, luck of the draw. So I mean, for all we know, they could be 3, 1, 100. In Fairbanks, we won't know until those actual licenses have been issued.
It's definitely going to be a fight for it though.
And the reason I bring it up, because I have a feeling it's going to be a very cutthroat industry when it does launch.
Definitely.
I know of other MBA graduates that have, no pun intended, $250,000 in seed money specifically to launch their business. They've got grow operations, plan in Wasilla, and distribution channels to get it out here. So I think what you're going to see is a large amount of people, even externally, that are interested in the Alaska market, and they're going to try and get in there and establish, some sort of dominance. So from that standpoint, in your whole business plan, it's very easy to be optimistic about something we're excited about, and we think that it's going to go, but taking a very firm look at, there's probably going to be a fair amount of, cutthroat things going on in your margins once you factor in insurance and supply and security and how you turn stuff from cash into the digital world. And there's a lot of things in there that I think there's a lot of opportunity, but you also really got to, on the risk side of it, really factor that in, because huge potential, but also a lot of outside variables that you're not going to be able to control.
Another thing that we took into consideration when we wrote this marketing plan was that it's just that, a marketing plan. It doesn't even necessarily have to be our business. It could be a person trying to start a dispensary that needs a marketing plan, and that's what we're here for.
And so my only other question to you guys would be, what's going to differentiate you from every other weed operation that's going to go in?
I think our brand and the quality of our products is going to try to be as top-notch as possible, as well as having a unique variety of products as well. I think that's the only differentiating factor. Price is something that everyone gets down to the same level at a certain point. So yeah, I think that's really the key there. As long including in that is customer relationships. That's the main stream of revenue, is building relationships with people, and then coming back to you just because they know you, and building those relationships is really key as well.
So any presentation I've heard on this, everybody says we're going to have the highest quality products and we're going to differentiate.
Actually, there's a point to this. The California Gold Rush, 1849, everybody goes out there because one guy finds 2 chunks of gold. That guy dies broke and dead in Pennsylvania, not a single dollar to his name. What happened? What shook out? Brand quality. The people that came out there, actually, to be honest with you, it was people selling the shovels, the pitchforks, and the pickaxes that made all the money off the gold rushers. But the other thing, there are other products out there, and that's the reason I called the green rush. It's the people that actually leverage themselves out as being the quality of the brand. And yeah, some people are gonna be better than others. Some people are gonna have better seed money. Some people are gonna have better research and development, a larger amount of product getting to the table. We're going to establish and create relationships and work our best to get that. We are going to try to also be the first to the table.
With that being said, also, having brand in Colorado, nobody's doing this. Nobody has a logo. Everybody's name is in green with some kind of reference to marijuana. And they're not providing these program outreaches either. And that's a market that's already established and still not doing it. So that's one, I think, notch we can attribute to our forward thinking.
Right, Beth, you ready to tackle this?
Sure. I thought it was really well-rounded, a really good presentation, really well thought out. You guys put a lot of effort into it. The things I like the idea of the trash pickup, this community involvement. We're part of your community, we help your community. I like your focus on responsibility and social awareness. I know there's a market in Fairbanks. I understand that there's money to be made in this. I've also heard that there's starting to be kind of a backlash in Colorado and Washington State because the taxes are so heavy on a local level, state level, and then at the federal level on top of it, the things you're allowed to deduct versus what gets taxed. If there is a growing illegal market in marijuana again in those states, and they're by people that are already comfortable with the idea of doing something illegal, and that's something you guys, it's going to be tough to address. But overall, I thought the research was really good. I thought it was really logical. I thought you had excellent analysis. And again, I like the idea that you're kind of making this more of a community sort of thing. You know, smoke local or whatever.
Yeah, we really want to eliminate stigma because it's mainly what hurts, you know.
It's what hurts bringing in new customers, the customer that's not the daily user, the guy that's not using Joe on the corner.
Right, who would like to go next? Russ or Brian?
So I like the way you integrated your research too. Your surveys were interesting. Like to know what the reliability of those surveys is. Thought about that, just, you know. Good SWOT analysis. Demand is definitely there, as we know, because the business already exists one way or another. It looks like it's really a moving target though in how government entities down the line, like our borough is gonna set up zoning and control locations. So there's gonna be like, it looks like there's gonna be limited locations, very likely, once you factor in all those zones and buffers and whatnot. So that's gonna be another level of competition, places that you can. And you're gonna end up, that competitive advantage is gonna be so important that Matt was talking about. So what is gonna make you different? And if it ends up being a limited entry kind of a thing, where there's a permit, like our liquor license situation, then what's the value of just winning the lottery gonna be on one of those licenses? Because that'll be part of the startup cost if you don't get one, right? So hard to make a very solid business plan with all those moving parts and all those undecided, you know, situations, issues, I don't know. Make you nervous at all?
Yeah, no, what I was talking about there was really clear. Is there are so many variables that haven't even been put on the table. There are questions yet to be asked. And you were talking about zoning issues. We had the newest, strip club show up. What they do? They literally kept a cover on it almost overnight and pulled the cover off and said, we kept all the zoning rules, and then walked away. And then yet everybody still came out of the woodwork. I don't want that here, I don't want that here, I don't want here. The same thing's gonna be happening with the marijuana business. We're gonna have to deal with that. We're gonna have to make sure we fit all the regulations and then sit around, put a cover over the top of it, pull it off, and go, ha, we made it in. And step back and see what, falls out of the trade.
Another thing that I learned in this wonderful marketing class, 80% of
That's good marketing.
Did you repeat that? He's sucking up.
So,
okay.
with that being said,
Tammy doesn't mind.
Already brown dog. That's why we chose this topic. It's exciting. It's Nobody's really talking about it, everybody's in the hush hush. We wanna bring it out, we wanna bring it out into the park, let it be heard. It's gonna happen regardless, whether we're iffy about it, it's gonna happen, we just wanna be a part of it.
That tourism potential will be interesting too, because unlike Colorado, if you come here as a visitor, you're gonna have to use what you buy here. Because there's no way to leave, just drive across the unprotected state border, right? Like there's in Colorado.
Right now, there's the, we're going hiking in Colorado.
Yeah, we try to get our logo for tourism.
Who designed the logo?
Borealis.
Very nice. All right, so Ryan, would you like to wrap this up?
I loved your presentation. Anytime I thought of something that I was going to ask you, like the next slide, you would answer it. So that was, and then other things that I did, write down as questions. Other students asked them, and you guys had done the research. So even though it wasn't in your presentation, it was obvious that you'd done a lot of research, so much that you couldn't fit it all in a 20-minute presentation, and so you had some background knowledge to answer these questions. So that was impressive. I love the logo. It's very creative, and it is. I'm glad you guys chose an exciting topic that, yeah, there's no right way. The regulations are going to change. There's a lot of twists and turns, but it's neat that you guys kind of tried to tackle them.
Yay! Right. All.